Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video today, we are going to be discussing why lesbian relationships do not work. Or it just won't work, basically. It's kind of like you're wasting your time. So let's break it down. So essentially from my experiences with women, right? As you guys already know this. I've done several videos on this. I've talked about this in a lot of videos about how women are just emotional beings and they're just triggered by every little thing. You know, it's a miracle if you come across a woman that's not triggered and is able to think logically versus emotionally. So yeah, that's essentially what you're gonna get when you have a woman. So like I said in previous videos, I tend to avoid women. I don't take my time. I don't, even when I'm on the phone call, I try to tell them, hey, I have something going on, I have another call coming up or I have an appointment. You have to kind of like get your way around them so you can just leave the situation and there's no repercussions at the end, because women, as we know, bring troubles. They bring issues. They make you feel uncomfortable. Throughout my life, I've only felt uncomfortable when in a woman's presence. When a man's around, I don't feel as uncomfortable. I feel free. I feel like I can have freedom of speech. I can say what I want to say. I can do whatever I want to do. Now, when it's a woman there, it's just always, you got to make sure that you're not saying the wrong thing. You're not doing the wrong thing. You're complying with what they want you to do. Failure to not comply is going to lead into a whole whirlwind of commotion, quarrels, arguments, waste of time that you don't have to invest into this one individual that's bringing you down in a sense. So that's just what I kind of get with women, and that's just what I've experienced throughout my life. Even when I was a child with my sister, emotionally triggered. If she saw me go into the fridge to get more apple juice, I'm gonna tell mommy on you. You're drinking up all the juice that we're gonna use for tomorrow, but she can do it. So it's such a great double standard with women. They want things to be designed and good and great for them, but if they see another individual doing this, that's a problem. No, that's not supposed to be it. Implement rules now. He's wrong. So the double standard they get is just like they put out is just mind-blowing. And you see a lot of unfairness with women. Men are not allowed to beat women, which I don't agree with violence. Men are not allowed to say certain words to women because that could be triggering and you can lose your job if you say something like that, or she calls your employer one day and complains on you. So it's just a lot of things that go into with woman. You really just have to walk on eggshells. They're emotional beings, and I don't see how you can be in a relationship with someone that's that emotionally triggered and an emotional being. Like, you have to watch your words. You have to step on eggshells. You don't look this way, because if you're looking this way, it's an issue. Don't do this. Don't walk to the fridge and eat the food. Crazy things. And it's like you're living with a mental psychotic individual almost. Any woman that's not able to curtail her emotions or know how to control her emotions in a business atmosphere, even in a personal atmosphere, you're going to be looking down the wrong road in life. You're just not going to make it as well. And it's going to be annoying to be with someone like you or around someone like you. So that's just kind of what my experience is. I'm kind of giving you guys that. I've had situations where, my sister, the most emotional human being you will see, would take the juice, take this delicious snacks my mom would buy and run and go ahead and put it in the room or take it everywhere she goes and things like that. So no one else gets it but her. So that's where I kind of say, like, yeah, this is a problem. This is a problem. There's times I've had to call the police on my sister because she's trying to beat me. She's trying to do this. She's choking me. She's beating me, and my mom is not around. She's working. So it's like, what do I do? So it was a lot of the trauma I went through as a child. And I'm going to relate this back to how, lesbian relationships don't work out. They just don't. But yeah, I'm giving you examples. So that was the childhood. And then even with teachers as well, there's some teachers that are women that just don't know how to control their emotions. Even as recent as when I did turn to a teenager at 18, and I had a friend, a coworker that was a lesbian and didn't know how to control her emotions, because I said, oh, I'm not going to be able to pick you up at this time, but this is when I'm going to pick you up. And so I now pulled up to the location late. You know, the consequences for me was a punch in the face. I was very angry. You know, I didn't know she was even going to react like that and talk to me like I was her child, and then throw 2 jabs in my chin right here. I talked about this if you guys are a fan of me, or if you guys have been looking at my videos. Yeah, we talked about this lesbian coworker of mine that thought me and her were something, and I said, no, we're just good friends. We're friends. I'm a really good person. And she punched me twice. I was livid. So that's where it comes down to, there's certain things you should not say around women. Your progression, things that are going to be going good for you, don't go and tell anybody that. Don't go and tell, especially a woman, that. You know, women are just naturally jealous human beings. You know, so it's wrong and it's silly of you to think that, oh, I'm going to divulge this, I'm going to trust this individual, I'm going to do this, and think there's not going to be consequences at the end of that. You know, you just, women are of the same species. It's not going to change. You know, this is starting from Eve. This is starting from everything that has happened on all of my encounters with women has just been sucky. And I think a man will tell you as well, like, men will just say things just so they can get by, you know, for the day. And yeah, so it's crazy. It's something that, you know, when we get into the context of, okay, I want to be in a full-on blown relationship with a lesbian, I look at people kind of like they're crazy, because you don't know what you're signing up for. What you're saying is you want to take one emotional human being, right? You want to take one person that has full-on estrogen, is allowed to be emotionally loud, is allowed to say whatever she wants to, is allowed to abuse her kids, and is not going to get looked down, you know, is allowed to do whatever she wants to do in society, and think it's okay. And then you bring another emotional being of the same gender that has the same characteristics and everything, and is a woman, and you combine that together and think you're going to get great, you know, success, you're going to have a great future, you're going to make success with that. Or no, that's delusional to me. So when 2 emotional people get together, it's just a room for disaster, because these are individuals that have learned and have been conditioned to think with their emotions. So imagine when they have an argument, they're going to be saying things that they just feel is emotionally correct, and it's just going to counter each other. You know, it's not going to work out. Whereas when you have a man and a woman together, things kind of just work well. You know, things kind of just mesh, because you have that level of testosterone, but then you do have that estrogen, and it just works perfectly and meshes well. But if you have this, like, even I would trust a relationship more with a male, you know, a male, like gay men. If they do that, they just always end up well. But with woman on woman, and it's a lesbian phase thing, I don't trust it. It's just, it always ends. So I just wanted to kind of break down, you guys, why you shouldn't be in any kind of, if you're thinking about it, it may be cool. You know, I used to be kind of fooled with lesbian girls, and like, wow, you know, they look cute, you know, they're doing their thing. I couldn't tell that was a girl, you know, wow, you know, you're dressing up, you know, and they can sell it to you well. They can portray themselves well, wear the nice clothes, you know, look professional, look like a man, but you're dealing with someone that has an insecurity. At the end of the day, they're still going to have a vagina. At the end of the day, they're still going to have their emotions to rely on. At the end of the day, they're still going to say, this is why I'm emotionally correct and you're logically wrong. You know, this is someone that's just always going to resort to emotions over logic. So no, there's no way I'm going to ever be fooled by, oh, you're dressing like a man. And there's some that'll even do the deep tone and say, oh, you know, this is just a miserable bitch. To say the least, to be as professional and politically correct as I can, this is a miserable bitch that's tired of being a woman, that's tired of looking like a woman, that's tired of sounding like a woman, because any woman could tell you, man, The things a woman has to go through just on a regular month is a lot. 7 days a week, you have that time of the month, that's a lot of pain. That's a lot of a cramp you're getting. Even carrying a child for 9 months. So it's tiring. It's a lot of work to be a woman. And the end result or what tends to happen as a result as of being a woman and as you progress into a teenager and a young adult is you become toxic. You become very toxic. You become less trustworthy because you're finding yourself lying. You're finding yourself sleeping around with men. You're finding yourself not being able to be responsible for yourself. And some women just end up miserable and toxic. So I can see where a lesbian would say, okay, I'm done with being a woman. I'm going to change my appearance. And I actually want to come off as a man. I do. That's fine. But the part they leave out is going through your transitional phase. If you really want to be a man, you have to take this out. You have to change your hormones. You have to go to your doctor, talk about what you want to be, your transgender and all of that, and how you really, really want to emphasize being a man. But you have a lot of women out here that are just still playing both roles and saying, oh yeah, I would love to be a man, but I'm going to have an attitude with you and make sure you do this and make sure you do that. And I'm going to impose my feminine characteristics on you. So it's kind of like you're in a fucked up position either way. That's why I was telling my mom and my cousin one day, I would never ever be lesbian or gay. I'm sorry. Not with the same gender, nothing like that, because you have nothing good ever goes on in those situations with the woman on woman situation. It's just not. The things you may want, the other individual might say, oh no, but that's not what my mom taught me when I was growing up. You just have to deal with the fact that at the end, you're still dealing with a woman. It doesn't matter how much they sag their pants. It doesn't matter how deep of a tone they have. This is still a genetically born woman. And those emotions are never going to disappear. If you guys probably try to question that or say, oh, I'm just rambling, you guys can literally look at one of the videos that I made about the two gay couples, that used their emotions to get whatever they wanted, and they ended up committed suicide. They adopted all these children of color and wanted to use them as, I guess, slaves. I don't know. They didn't feed them. They didn't do anything. And they just ended up killing them at the end. So it just, it's terrible, when women come together and make decisions, because the decisions are just based off emotions. If life and businesses and the world just revolved around emotions, we would have a lot more cemeteries. A lot of people will be dead, It wouldn't be as much people living and walking up freely like this and doing what they want to do. Life would not be as sweet as you think it is right now. We operate in a world of logic because it's what's right. It's what's ethically right. It's ethics and morals and what is considered right, But with emotions, you can be so emotional. You can say, in this moment, this is how I feel. This is what I think. And still be logically wrong. Accountability, it's something a lot of women don't want to face up to. They would rather run away from it and be like, oh, I didn't know that, or oh, but you're aware of your decisions. You're aware of your actions you're making. So it's so stupid, and I feel sorry for anybody in a lesbian relationship. Like, you're just going to be dealing with arguments every day. It's not going to work out. It's going to be like oil and water. And there's some people that will say, there's some people that it works out for, which is good. I just know for me, I need someone with a different type of hormone than estrogen, because I can't deal with someone that's going to use their emotions to solve issues. It's not going to work out. It's not realistic, and you don't become realistic. You're going to live in a false narrative, in a fairy tale, and it's just not going to work out. It happened literally to, this gay couple in California. There were two gay girls, thought it was going to work out, and it just did not. They're dead now. So it's crazy. Women make a lot of decisions off of emotions. I personally don't. I don't do that because I feel like if I used emotions to solve my problems, I would be broke. I would be homeless right now, I think. I would definitely be homeless for sure. I'm definitely sure of that. Wouldn't have my Porsche. A lot of things that I've achieved at this stage right now, I wouldn't have it, because I'll be thinking, why is this? Why is that? Oh, I'm not going to do this because I don't feel like doing it, or this is that. I'm going to sit in this phase of my life and think that, oh, the whole world is against me, use my emotions to reason it instead of logic. Like, no, everyone is working. Everyone has to get off their ass and work and do this and go to school and learn a trade and trade. You need to be able to achieve things. And if you're emotionally not gonna, saying you're not gonna do it, then you're just gonna suffer. You're gonna be one of those individuals that just doesn't make it. And that's what a lot of women tend to result as. So just for me, that's why I just wanted to put it out there. I wanted to kind of explain how the trilogy of how women relationships and lesbian relationships just don't unfortunately work out. So that's the thing. That's essentially what it is. I know there's some people that do it. I just I would never, and it's just crazy because you can't. Both of you guys will literally need to go and buy your own sperm to reproduce. There's not going to be any manly figure, which I can agree. You really don't need men to succeed in life, but men are more calmer, logical, and understanding. Women tend to be the complete opposite of what a man is. No matter how much they define it, no matter how much they try to mask it, that is what they are. So I feel sorry for anybody doing that, but everyone makes a choice, and that's essentially all I have for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Would you date a girl? Would you consider being lesbian? And if you are a lesbian individual, what are some of the pros and cons of being in that relationship? So let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a good one.